Good morning, homesteaders and preppers. I have a question for you. Is your medical stash fresh? We had a really bad medical emergency this past weekend. Our teenage son was helping dad drain gas out of an old gas tank for a car we're getting ready to scrap. And there was a flashback explosion from the vapors. And, well, let's just say he got burned. First and second degree on his forearms and on his shoulder. The gloves were gone. The sleeve of his hoodie was gone. And any area that was exposed between the gloves and the hoodie was burned. So there's a lesson for those guys in the garage to make sure they're really paying attention to what's going on. And for me, to go ahead and restockpile a few things that I like to have on hand. So why do I think you need to check your stash? Now, a lot of people in all those prepper shows be stockpiling medical supplies for decades. Well, you know what? Even bandages expire. I had gotten a few of my supplies from an estate auction. Older lady was being taken care of by her family, and when she passed away, I was purchasing a big drum of canning jars. And inside of the tub was a lot of surgical bandages that were still clean and sanitary. So I went on and kept those things, and anything that was open I threw away. I have some of these Surgipads from Johnson & Johnson. Now that I've had them, I'm noticing I'm getting down to the last few and they're deteriorating. So these little, I think they're like 5x9 surgical dressings. They're wonderful, especially if they're non-stick. If you don't have those, you need those because we went through quite a bit. Little, box of Band-Aids is not going to work for a burn on a good portion of the time when it's that bad. But when you unwrap these, they don't smell differently, but by golly, you can see that they are coming apart. You just barely look at some of the edging, it starts to fray. Okay, you start to put a little tape on it, and it just completely comes apart all in your hand. This is not what a surgical pad should do. It should be nice and sturdy, be able to touch the wound and, any ointments you put between the wound and this. But instead what happens is it just starts coming apart with the wound. So then you're doing more scrubbing on the wound than you want to inflict on your painful patient. So check your stash. Thankfully these are the last, and I just went on Amazon and ordered a bunch more to keep. So how old are these? Well, let's see. The box has no expiration date or no manufacturer date. But I know on another box of non-stick ones, it said year 2000. So it's 2017. That's nearly 20 years. So for all of those who like to stock up on bandages and they have not used them, hopefully it's not a waste of money. Now granted, they're still usable, but it's going to be painful and it's going to be hard to clean. So what else do I have for this burn situation? Some of these Band-Aid non-stick adhesive pads are wonderful. For some of the smaller burns, they're great, nice good area. And these are 3x4 inches. Well worth getting. I've gone through quite a bit of those. Of course, your standard box of Band-Aids for the little ones. And, every variety, you never know. Another thing I've been liking is these non-stick pads I got from Walgreens. And they are a 4x4. Just single, non-stick, nice, slick surface. Originally, I had some for my stash that were just the same size at 5x9 or maybe even 8x6 of the non-stick, and I looked and looked, couldn't find them, and come out the manufacturer, which was now Cured, had discontinued. Those were wonderful. So there might be some floating around there still at some medical supply store, but it's well worth grabbing. some of the 4x4 gauze. I'm noticing everything now is going to pre-single serve sizes instead of just being a pack of the open box. And then some of these 4x4 gauze. Now Dollar General has these. They're Rexel brand. They're pretty good. They're not exactly non-stick, but they're not like putting something against a cotton swab. The nice thing about these is even though they're 4x4, they expand. So there's still 2 layers. Right now it's 4 layers and a 4x4 square. But when you open it up, it is actually 8x4. So on those long areas on his forearm, I was able to take a few of those and go ahead and lay those out, or even wrap completely around the wrist like that. So those were nice. I will keep those on hand as well. Now for the burn itself, we've been cleaning with aloe fresh, and then I also keep a tub. This one I believe is from Fruit of the Earth, but there's so many different brands. Walgreens has it for about $12 a gallon. Walmart has it, I think it's even a little cheaper. I've ordered it offline. I mean, you can get aloe in a lot of different places. Just make sure it's 100%. I think it'll be like 99.8 is what it says on this bottle. You really want to keep this in a cool place or even the fridge after it's opened. But this has been wonderful to use just for cleaning. His healing, I didn't expect to go very fast. That happened on Sunday morning, and here it is Friday morning, and it's looking really great for 2nd degree burns. And it was nasty. We're talking weeping, oozing, a little bloody, some dead skin, all that nasty stuff. And it's been a really good thing to use just to help clean that and not be so aggressive. Originally, we also had some different types of burn creams and gels, but all in all, what's also been helpful is a home remedy that I got off a couple different sites. The one I looked at, I think, was called Dr. Axe, A-X-E, and he has quite a few remedies that really work. And this one is some honey, lavender, tea tree oil, a little peppermint oil, and olive oil and coconut oil mixed together to make a nice good salve. And that's been really great, especially overnight, you know, and then I'll put something thinner on for him to go to school with. So, you know, a lot of different places to get your essential oils, but well worth having on hand to make a quick little antibiotic cream. So let's see, lots of gauze. You cannot have enough gauze. This is the nice, good kind. Don't get cheap. Don't get that cheap stuff that looks like shredded wheat. That will stick to everything. This is nice and soft. It works with you. And I'm on the last row, and hopefully my Amazon order will hurry up and get here. Sometimes Prime is not today. Lots of tape. I like the wide kind, 1.5 to 2 inches. Works really well. And this, I think, is also athletic tape. So sometimes it's a little too sticky. So just have a variety of that on hand. Instead of cotton balls, I have been really taking more advantage of these cotton rounds that come in useful for cleaning that wound. And, you know, really, really handy and not so painful. Do pay attention to which kind you get. Some are a lot more rough than others. And that was just from Dollar General. So, you know, $1 or so. Ace bandages. Can you not have enough Ace bandages? Even when they're this long, you can cut them in half. I have on order more of those little Ace bandage clips. It's hard to find the metal ones, but Amazon had metal and now plastic, which is supposed to last a little longer. So I can't wait. I will show you guys that in a future video once they get here. But in the meantime, some small safety pins work really well. So bandages. So all I've done, since it is on his forearm, is cut it down into 2 to 3 pieces so I can roll it out. So you're looking at just about 2 foot worth, and that was a lot easier on his arm than putting the whole bandage, which makes it extremely heavy. You get swelling, and you don't have to put too much ice on it if you don't get the swelling over what it needs to be. So, now years ago, of course, everyone's always had a small box, you know, Band-Aids, bandage scissors, and all that, but I've just always added to it, so really it's not all in the box. So rechecking my stash of medical supplies let me know that I needed to go through and get a few more things and use up those surgical pads this weekend. But I'm going to swing back to that first question I asked. How fresh is your medical kit? Have a good one, and please stay safe. I was buying one of those large morning homesteaders and preppers. What's in your medicine cabinet?